Yes, gents, how we doing? So what I want to do is just run through like the standards sort of, or the requirements needed for sort of to get to a goal, okay? Because perhaps we talk about like the daily actions, everything all the time, and what you need to be doing. But I just want to give you sort of like a ballpark figure, just like benchmarks and stuff for sort of like perhaps sort of to lose your first stone, to lose the sort of like the sort of your first, I don't know, 10 kilos, to sort of get abs, and stuff like what that looks like in terms of like daily actions and the requirements to sort of get there. I want to give you like a bigger idea and a breakdown, because again, you have to sort of train, you have to like sort of focus on your nutrition, and the rest of your lifestyle. But at what sort of level, like how often do you need to be training? And it, like I said, depending on sort of the level. So I just want to run through each sort of standard, perhaps wherever you want to get to. And then it's like, right, to get to that standard, this is sort of what you need to be doing. To get to this level, you need to be around here. This is what you need to be doing on a daily basis, okay? So just want to break those down. So if you were just, as I said, doing nothing and you're just getting started, okay? Like, obviously anything is going to sort of like, start working for you, okay? You just need to get active and just generally start eating a little bit less, okay? So let's say you want to lose your first stone. You want to, like, in the next month now, you want to lose a stone in the next 30 days, right? What would you do to do that? You probably still have to sort of like train, exercise perhaps 2 to 3 times a week, okay? If you did that, like sort of whether it's sort of body weight, whether it's sort of like a run, whatever it is, okay? You start with like 2 to 3 times a week would be perfect, okay? And then on top of that, then your activities, so try and be active through the day as well. Perhaps try and get up to sort of 6,000 to 8,000 steps through the day. Okay, whether that's going for a walk as well, or just generally being active around the house or in your work, whatever. Okay, and in terms of eating, obviously perhaps you're eating quite a lot, or just eating is not very good, a lot of junk food, a lot of binges in there, whatever. It's just generally cutting those down. Perhaps trimming out sort of 500 calories. That's all you need to do. Okay, you trim out about 500 calories. Or cut back sort of on like, so if you have a lot of takeaways, a lot of like heavy weekends, you need to trim those back, okay? And just trim them back by about 500 calories each time, okay? Along with perhaps 2 to 3 sessions and like sort of like, I don't know, 8,000 steps, something like that. Just getting a move in each day, okay? You're doing that consistently. In 30 days, you probably lose a stone. Again, depending where you're at, okay? You're going to lose perhaps, yeah, like sort of 5 to 7 kilos, basically, okay? Over the sort of the course of 30 days, which is, yeah, about 10 to 14 pounds, depending on where you're at, okay? But that's just generally what you need to do to get there, okay? And then, right, so beyond that now, okay, because obviously we can't do that forever, okay, because our body will adjust and we'll hit that plateau, so we need to upgrade. So let's say sort of perhaps you want to lose like, yeah, 2 stone or like 3 stone, or just really sort of get rid of our belly, whatever, okay? Just really sort of like tone it down a bit. Not necessarily abs, but like sort of tone it down. So what that look like is probably more like 3 to 4 sessions a week. Probably more like 4 sessions a week you're probably looking at, okay? Like if you want to get some sort of like a bit of definition now, you want to look good in a t-shirt, you want to get that flatter stomach, you're going to have to sort of get up to like 4 sessions a week, perhaps. And then in terms of eating, you're going to need to know how much you're eating. You need to sort of be aware of how many calories you're having on a daily basis. You're going to need to sort of like start logging those down and tracking those, okay? So knowing how the calorie intake, perhaps it's like 2,000, and you need to manage those, okay? Same with your protein. Then you need to sort of become just keeping on track with that. It's not enough anymore to just sort of like reduce things and just eat better. You need to know sort of numbers now, okay? You need to know like sort of how much you're eating and to be able to factor stuff in, okay? Because there's a lot less room for error. So doing that, and then obviously perhaps on weekends, again, a bit more consistent as well. You can't just get away with sort of perhaps having a big session or blowouts, okay? So you need to sort of be more consistent, like perhaps 6-7 days a week. It doesn't mean sort of you just like obviously restricted. It's not that at all. No, it's just be more consistent with your eating, with staying in hit your calorie intake, and then obviously eating consistent with your activity then. So like I said, your activity, we need to get that up perhaps about 10,000 minimum, okay? We need to be above that, perhaps kind of walking as well, or just generally being active. You should be in the sort of perhaps 10 to 15,000 sort of thing. You want to be there. And it comes like things like water intake, like sleep. These things are going to sort of come into play more because you're going to be pushing harder, like training a bit more often, and like lower calories. And just generally, like I say, pushing harder, so it's going to be more exhaust fumes building up, so you're not going to need to recover more, and just sort of because you want to perform. And they're generally doing that, okay, that's going to sort of start sort of making like where you need to be. And if you do that consistently, sort of like for about 3 months or something, then you're going to sort of like start getting sort of like a decent shape, okay? And then perhaps obviously, let's say you want to go beyond that, you want to sort of get that beach body, you want to get abs, whatever it is, okay? Now, obviously up to there, then it's building on everything you've just done previously and realizing again, there's even less room for error now, okay? So your training will probably be about, probably about 5 days a week, possibly, okay? Possibly 6, like sort of a session on there if it's needed. So it's just going a bit more, again, because there's more emphasis, more time and energy into this area lifestyle now, because you want to get higher up the mountain, okay? That's all it is. So what that's going to look like then in terms of your eating, yeah, you're going to have to sort of like be on a lower calories. You're going to be sort of getting a bit hungry. Your energy is might be a bit dipping, and your moods and stuff, because you really sort of reducing those calories quite lower, because you want to get that fat off, really get down to those abs. Like you're going down to perhaps about 1,500 calories or less. You're going to work your way down to there. Your protein's going to be really high. Your meals are just going to be very sort of strict, okay? It's going to be very sort of like the same. It's just going to be meat and veg, basically. There's not much room for flexibility here if you want to get to abs, if it's the first time doing it. You have to sort of, be a lot more strict. It's not sort of like perhaps doing like living a lifestyle. It is sort of a lot harder. You have a lot more on point, know how much you're having, and be aware of it. Like I said, it's going to be generally lower calories. So again, like in terms of your strength, it is not, and size, you're not going to be able to grow. It's just maintaining now, because obviously your primary goal is obviously losing fat. So then the calories will come down. Your protein's going to be high, mainly veg, lots of veg, because they want to fill you up, because you're not having much food otherwise, from like carbs and fats. Activity, you want to be active as well. Get that in, like sort of getting into sort of the mid-teens, like sort of into like 15,000 steps a day or more, because that's just a calorie burner there, just like sort of that doesn't really overload your body too much. So really, can you really utilize that? Then in terms of like consistency, you can't really go out on weekends in terms of and get smashed. Obviously, you go out and do stuff, but you can't sort of have that alcohol as much as you want, and just you can have a couple of beers, perhaps might be able to fit those in, but generally. Going out and going for like a date, like having a massive Domino's is not going to happen. And then in terms of sleep, you need to be in bed, recovering, and sort of consistent day. You can't have sort of late nights. It's just there's less room for error. That's all it is, okay? So you have to be it's more fine tuning. Everything has to be on point. In terms of your training and obviously progression there, pushing the intensity, your nutrition in terms of like keep those calories low and keep the protein high, eating your veg, getting your activity in, getting your sleep in, getting your water in, and then supplements will become more useful now, because obviously you're putting a bigger strain on your body, so you need the sort of the help from the supplements to supplement everything. So you need perhaps whether it's protein powder, greens, omegas, zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, probiotics, everything you get deficient in and depleting from. Okay, so this is just sort of I want to give you a breakdown of what the sort of it takes to get to each level. That's all it is, okay? Because it's the same sort of thing. So you're still going to be training the same different things, whatever, eating is sort of similar, same principle, but just different standards, it's different intensities of it, okay? So that's if you want to sort of get abs and stuff. Like I say, you're going to be training probably about 5-6 days a week. It's going to be taking over a lot of your life. You have to understand that, and everything else will be sacrificed, like your social life, like obviously eating sort of your favourite foods and stuff like that. You're going to have to sort of put them on hold for a bit, because you're all focused on sort of getting abs and really getting that chipping away, because it's hard, and you've got to really, so your body doesn't want to go there, and you've got to really commit to it and dig in, okay? And that's just the reality of it. I just want to sort of paint the whole iceberg for you and just give you that bird's eye view. But like I said, most people will fall in the middle, okay? You want to look good, you want to get lean, and have a sort of body that's energized, that dominates the day in terms of business. They've got energy for their relationships, they're confident, they feel good, and they look decent as well. I say that's where you can be sustainable now, okay? You can train through the week, but again, you still got time to do other things, and then you're eating as well. It's balanced. You can have food, eat good foods, but obviously you can have sort of other foods, but if you're eating out or takeaways, whatever, it just allows more sustainability. So just want to paint that picture for you guys. Hope that helps. Any questions, drop them below or hit me up, message me. Peace.